McLeod with the Investing News Network, and here today with me is Kai Hoffman, CEO of Oreninc. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great to have you by. To start off, can you start by telling me a little bit about your company and what you do there?
Yeah, no, I'm the CEO of Oreninc, and we track all the financings in the junior mining space. Meaning, we look at all the financings that are being announced, and we put them on our website and track them. And, the opens, the closings, we update them regularly.
Okay, so your research recently shows that a couple of weeks ago we saw the lowest number of financings open since January 2016. What does that tell you about the resource space?
I think I was very close to calling it, we're back in a bear market, but I think it seems more like a lull because we've done a little more research into that, and we've seen that a lot of financings have been closed over the last couple of months, especially January or February, and the numbers are exactly the same as in 2017. So we've seen roughly $650 million in financings closed in the space, and this year was the exact same number. Openings are slower. I think we're lacking quite a bit of retail interest in this space for now.
That's interesting. I feel like coming into this show, everybody was feeling quite optimistic, but the numbers are not telling us that same thing.
No, it's like the gold price is doing okay. We're hanging in there over $1,300. So people do have there's a justification of being optimistic. Companies have raised quite a bit of money in recent years, or in the last 18 months. So they got money to spend, they got money to drill. So they're happy and optimistic. They got stories to tell now again, right? And we've been lacking that in 2015. So companies are excited now. And you'll see it more and more people here. I think the booths are being staffed more and more. There are more in the last few years. It was 1 or 2 people at the booth. Now you see 3, 4, 5 people. That's a big change.
Okay, so you're talking about financings open. What about financings closed? Is it similarly low level, or
no?
What is your data showing?
No, the data is actually might be at the back end of 2017, where a lot of deals have been announced as well, and we've seen a flurry of activity in just mid-December. I think we're just seeing maybe the back end of the deals closed. As I said earlier, it's like $650 million have been closed in total financings just in the last couple of months, and that is the same number. I was surprised when I saw that number. I didn't expect it to be the same. So it's more the financings that are being opened right now that are just lagging behind.
Okay, so between what kinds of companies are opening, closing financings right now? Are you seeing any trends in, is it a specific commodity or?
Yes, no, definitely. And gold is always, omnipresent, but it's definitely the battery metals that are taking a lot of the limelight right now. And we've seen, I think, $170 million in financings closed this year already in that space. And it's been a massive increase from what we've seen. And obviously the retail interest is more in that sector as well. So gold stocks, and if you've been tracking the markets, obviously, and we're not advancing, or seasonality hasn't been as strong as we've usually seen, and it's more of the battery metals that are taking that attention right now.
Okay, is that a trend you expect to see continue into 2018?
It's going to be flat, in my opinion, just because lithium, cobalt, there'll be a certain saturation factor coming in, and people understand that we don't need 1,000 lithium companies. So, I think we'll see a certain saturation, but interest is definitely strong. One thing I like about it gets the younger generation involved in the space again, because EVs are in everybody's, newspaper, magazines, on every app. EVs are that topic. And Bloomberg is doing a lot of reporting on it, so it's just attracting a lot of, maybe a new crowd of investors.
A little more mainstream?
That I'm secretly hoping will trickle down to the gold space.
Okay, fingers crossed. So if you're an investor, what should you take away from all of that information? How should you use it?
What we're seeing right now, I think we're seeing a lag in seasonality. We're just lagging behind by 8 weeks, and we've seen that massive drop off just, 3 weeks ago, something like that? We've seen a massive drop also in the TSX Venture Index. We're recovering, like the stocks I'm tracking personally as well. I'm looking at a couple of mid-tier producers. We're up 15-20% since then. So my gut tells me that we might see that seasonality kicking in a bit late, post PDAC instead of before PDAC.
Okay. Any final words you want to leave investors with today?
No, it's like Oreninc, we're quite optimistic when it comes to the markets in general. The index, we've set the benchmark in January 2011. So once we get closer to that number, you'll know we're in a frothy market. We're far from it, and things are moving along great.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Appreciate it, Charlotte. Thank you so much.
Once again, I'm Charlotte McLeod with the Investing News Network, and this is Kai Hoffman from Oreninc.